Okay, so researching video topic ideas with ChatGPT for YouTube. Let's get straight into it. I'm going straight into my screen record here. You can follow along. Let's get straight into the nitty gritty of it. So I'm over on chat.openai.com. You can see right here. Go ahead and get into there. I'm assuming you've used this before. If you haven't, very simple. Go over to chat.openai.com or just search ChatGPT in Google and you'll sign in with your Google account. And you'll be able to get on and you'll be confronted with a screen that looks something like this. So just to let you know, over here is all the history of everything that I've ever searched before. There's a bit of a poem here I did, some other travel idea for videos, some documentary scripts that I ran. That's the layout. Here's your history, and here is where you input your message to get a result from ChatGPT. So let's get into it. We need to generate some video ideas for your channel. So let's say you already have a niche. That's also something you could do inside ChatGPT. But let's say you have a video niche already and you need to get some video topic ideas. Now, there are a million ways to do this, and there are different ways, different best practices. These are the ones that I'm suggesting from having used this put in loads of hours using ChatGPT for YouTube. These are my best practices. So you could just go give me some topic ideas, but the results I seem to get are very broad, very basic. And with YouTube, as we discussed in the previous lecture, go and watch that if you didn't see it, how important thumbnails are. We're not doing that here, but title is. Your click-through rate needs to be amazing. The only thing that can dictate if someone is clicking or not, if someone is actually clicking on your video, is if the title is engaging. A lot of people won't find you through search. They're not going to search unless you're doing info-based videos. They're probably not going to search for your video. They're going to be suggested it by YouTube. They're going to be confronted with your thumbnail and your title. So your title needs to really engage, needs to intrigue, and needs to get them to click. So we're not going to ask ChatGPT for topics, we're going to ask them for titles. And then from getting a title, we're then going to ask them to generate more titles based on that. So let's do an example right here. Let's do an example, get into it, and let's see how this works. So as I mentioned, the first thing I'm going to do is come down here and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to generate 10 video title ideas for YouTube for the, I don't know, let's do USA travel niche. And let's just see what it comes up with. Hit enter, let it work it out. Okay, ultimate guide exploring the hidden gems of the USA, unforgettable road trip, cross-country adventure USA, exploring America's national parks, living like a local, immersive cultural experiences, foodies paradise. You can see it's generated some ideas here. Now you can click here to regenerate the response. Let's actually do that while you're here. And you'll be able to do it again. And you'll be able to see the response. And right up here, I could click back to the previous response if I want that. But it's giving me another 10 slightly different ways that it's worded these. And I can rate these. These are pretty much the same. So these are my ideas. And this is how I first go about trying to get video topic ideas for my videos, for my niche, if you already have it, on YouTube. I don't go give me topics. So if any of these kind of just slightly interest me, and it will depend completely on your channel, you may be asking it to generate for, I don't know, 10 ideas for titles for reviews of the iPhone. Or more general than that, maybe you've got a tech channel and you want to do tech reviews. Maybe you have a makeup channel and you want it to do 10 ideas for that. Or it could be anything at all. You could be talking about Bitcoin, finance, gaming, whatever it is. Ask it to initially generate randomly 10 titles. You could ask it to do 20, 50. Of course, it's completely up to you. So I'm going to do, let's say, okay, I do travel and I do food. So this works right here. Let me copy that and let's ask it to work on this title and give me more examples of topic ideas for this title. Again, I'm going to ask it for titles. We work with title first over topic. We kind of know what the topic is based on the niche, but I'm going title first. That is the first thing a viewer sees on YouTube is the title. They know the topic. They're probably looking for it being suggested the topic by YouTube, given their search history on YouTube. So let's do titles again, even though this is for topic ideas. And let me show you that. So let's go generate 10 titles for YouTube videos around this. Let's call it a topic, and let's punch in the, it just gave me here, and then I'm putting in the title right here. So generate 10 titles for YouTube videos around this topic, Taste of America, exploring the culinary delights across the USA. Let's do that, because in a later video, there is one exactly on titles and generating titles, and we can ask it to be more clickbaity, more punchy. We're going to ask it to make titles specifically for a demographic that you have. If you have a channel already, you know that you have Americans watching who are female or male in their 30s or 60s. You can ask them to generate specific titles for an audience. We're getting to that in a little bit. So now I've given it this. It's almost like, although I ask it for titles, this is the topic, because Taste of America, exploring culinary delights across America, the USA, that's a huge documentary that would be on TV that goes across the entire breadth of America. So by asking it to generate more titles again, it's almost niching down. It's bringing down my topics into more manageable bites. For example, Southern Comforts, exploring the soulful flavors of the Deep South. Now, if you're making a video, if I was traveling, I know I'd have to be in a southern state, not all across America, like this video did. New York Bites, this one specifically in New York. Spice Up, so now we're doing spicy food in the Southwest. Of course, you could change this to wherever you were, given where you are in America. Flavors of the Midwest, California. You see how it went from a very generic topic and how we worked down. So give me 10 title ideas, basically gave me 10 topics, because these are non-specific about a location or region. And then it's basically niched it down into region and food type for this example right here. And you'll see if you did your own niche, that would be exactly the same as you come down again. Don't ask it for topics, ask ChatGPT for titles. So for example, if I know I'm in New York and I like this one, but I like this maybe, I could be then going, spice up your palate, exploring Tex-Mex cuisine in New York. I know where I live, you know what you have the capability of making. I could take that title and we do it later in a video and make that way more specific. But let's do another one. You can go down as many times as you want. I'll go down one more time here. Let's put that in there. Let me ask it to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to niche down even more. Let's do it again. Let's do it again here. And now it's going to be all about that New York title that I just copied in here. Generate 10 titles for YouTube around this topic. New York Big Bites, exploring the iconic food scene of the Big Apple. So it's starting to punch out some titles here. Foodie's Paradise, discovering the best eateries in New York City, street food adventures. So right here, you see that was still quite generic, exploring the big iconic food scene. So now it's doing big eateries, New York City, street food, New York City, hidden gems, New York dishes that are iconic, sweet tooth, sweet stuff. You see how from getting a topic, if I'd have just gone, give me a topic for food videos in America, they would have been so generic, which we slightly got, but we started getting title ideas. It starts with title, then we niche down again and again. Now you can go down as many as you want until you pretty much have the video in mind that you could make based on the title. Now a lot of people go, oh, but I've made the title and now made the video, sorry, and I want to come back in here and make the title. Because from our previous videos we mentioned the first thing people see is thumbnail and title. You should have your title and your video idea, your topic, and then your title already created before you make your video. If there isn't a title and topic that you can do that's amazing and perfect, then don't make the video, because you want to get clicks. If people don't click, they don't see the video anyway. So it's no good having the best video in the world if you can't get people to click and see it. So let's start with topic and title, and then let's make the video. So we already have this. Now I'm going to go with, for example, New York Sweet Tooth. I like that one a lot. I could explore desserts throughout New York City. You can imagine there being some amazing ones. That's what I'd go with. I'd store that idea that I have. And then in the next videos, we're going to go into stuff like getting your title niche down, getting it right for your audience, getting it really clickbaity, and moving forward with that. That's actually going to be in the very next lecture. So if you're following along, do this in the meantime, here's homework for you. Do this in the meantime with your own niche. Go in there and follow this on exactly. There is also a downloadable PDF so you can follow along step by step, like I said, and do this as many times. Ask it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 results and niche it down until you have, oh, this is exactly the topic that I want. A title basically for the topic that I want. This won't be the exact title that you want, and we'll rework this in the next lecture. But now you have a topic idea. You might have several and you can start planning your next 5, 10 videos, which is ideal for YouTube. But that is how the best way, I think, the best practice is to find topics for YouTube on ChatGPT. So let's get into the next lecture and let's make this into the most clicky title possible that you need. And I will see you on the very next video. Generating clickable titles with ChatGPT for YouTube. Once again, straight into the screen record, following on from the last lecture. If you didn't watch the last lecture, this bit won't make too much sense, so do follow along step by step. I'm going to be using what we did in the last lecture to carry on in this flow, so you can follow along step by step, exactly like this, doing this for your channel and your niche and your own ideas. So in the last lecture, we got basically our topics, which were generated like titles because we know the importance of title in YouTube. And we're now going to make that topic, which is already a title, into an even better, more clickable title. Now, people could take, for example, I really liked this one, right? New York Bites. People could take this title and go, I'm gonna go with this, and that's what I'm gonna have for YouTube. No. You spend all that time on your YouTube video. You spend hours filming it, editing it, making it, and it's super amazing. But no one is going to see that video if they don't click it. YouTube is going to give an impression. They're going to show your thumbnail and your title. They're going to show those impressions, and no one will even see the video if they don't click on your title and your thumbnail. The only thing they have to decide whether or not to click is your thumbnail and title. So you need to rework and rethink your title over and over again. You can do this from research on your competitors, see what they're doing, what kind of titles. But really, you need to know your audience, who's watching your videos, who's likely or who you want to watch them. And you need to make these titles even more enticing and intriguing to get as many clicks as possible. Because we know from the first lecture in the last section that I did, the more clicks you get, the better your click-through rate, the more impressions you're likely to get from YouTube, and the better results you're going to have in views, in earning money, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that title, I'm going to put it right down here. This is the one that I want. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT to do a couple more things here. So I'm going to say, reword this title for a YouTube video. No, I'm going to say, title optimized for a YouTube video to get the most views. And then I'm going to just put it like, you don't have to do this, but sometimes I think the language is a language-based AI model. Sometimes using things like you would in language, like semicolon or speech marks, etc., can help. I'm going to say reword this title 10 times and make it optimized for a YouTube video to get the most views and clicks. Let's say for my audience, which are, let's say, females in the USA aged 35 to 55 years old. Now, some people say this won't make any difference, and some people say it do. You're going to regenerate these over and over again, so you're not going to know necessarily. You'd have to spend hours and hours and hours and years potentially rewording this to get enough analytics to know if something like that last sentence telling people who your audience is makes a difference. I think it does. And why is that important? Now, I've tested this on YouTube videos, on dozens of channels over the years. People think that there is one rule fits all for YouTube for a title. It doesn't. And the thumbnail even more so important. Think of a Mr. Beast style thumbnail and title that are really clickbaity and punchy and in your face and extreme and bright and animated. Well, I tried that, for example, on a travel channel in Asia. I tried doing exactly that kind of thing where the audience were mostly male, aged 55 to 65, and they did not respond. The videos got more clicks when it was just a screen grab from the video and a really basic info title that wasn't too baity. Your audience will respond very differently to different types of titles. We know this from marketing. When people market posters or adverts aimed at an older demographic or a younger demographic or male or female or in certain locations and countries, they'll be different. You'll see posters, I've just traveled to Japan, posters there, loads of text and in a certain way different than if it would be in the West or the US. Lots of things dictate how a message needs to be sent. That's like basic advertising and marketing since the days of Madison Avenue Mad Men. And they were discovering this. People of different demographics respond differently to different messages. So I would add that in because I think it's going to help. And you can have a look at this and work it out. So if you have a channel, you can go into your analytics, you can go into audience, you can scroll down and you can see where they're from location-wise, most of your audience and the ones you want. Remember, people in the USA, when they watch your videos, or UK, Australia, Europe generally, compared to people in, I don't know, India, the Philippines, Southeast Asia, are worth up to 10 times more in ad revenue than those in Asia. So if you are looking to make money, then you're probably trying to target the West, and that also is dictated by if you speak English, what language you're speaking, what topic you're talking about. So I do put in location, and then I also say make it optimized. It's an AI platform. It's looking for information about how to optimize YouTube. There'll be loads written online about it to get the most views and clicks. So I'm going to generate this to get 10 titles, and those are the reasons why. Let's hit that and let's see what it comes up with. Reword this title 10 times to make it optimized for a YouTube video to get the most views and clicks. New York Bites exploring iconic food scene in the Big Apple. For my audience, which are females in the USA aged 35 to 55 years old. So, taste the magic, indulging in New York's iconic food scene. That didn't generate anything to do with... Oh yeah, sorry, I put in a different title here. I'm going to do the same one again. I actually quite like the sweet one. Let's do this again in a moment. Foodie Heaven, unveiling this, savory New York. Yeah, so what I did there, and you'll see, spot the mistake, is that we went to an even more specific title that I want, and we've gone from the step back. You'll know that from the previous lecture. So let's just do this again. Let me do this. And this is the fun thing with playing with ChatGPT. You can just do it over and over and over again and see the results that you're getting. Let's take out that title and let's make it for sweet food adventures. So I want videos, we've gone even more specific in the niche in the last channel, the lecture. I know I'm going to make a video about sweet food, not just food in general. I'm trying to niche down for my exact target. And I happen on this channel to have females in this age, in this location. So let's punch that and let's see what it says. Savoring New York's street food. So it hasn't picked up on the sweet street food. Culinary delights unleashed. Delectable street food scene. Tempting tastes of New York City. Unveiling the best street food bites for women. Okay, that literally took exactly what I said. Depending on how niche down your channel is and who you're targeting, you might want to use something like that. If it's more general, then you don't want to alienate people. So you might want to just remove this. It's put it in all of these. That's the great thing with ChatGPT. We can ask it once again in a moment to reword this. Let's see what else I like. Foodie's Paradise. I like... No, this is too wordy. Tempting taste. This is quite nice. Foodie's Paradise. Okay. Let's do the next stage now. So it's not quite right. I want it to be in sweet street food. So Foodie's Paradise. I'm just going to put in the word sweet here. And I'm going to ask it to reword this 10 times to be the most exciting and enticing. I'm going to use the word clickbait to see what it comes up with. Clickbait title for a YouTube video. Let's do this and let's see what this comes up with. Reword this 10 times is the most exciting, enticing clickbait title. So, taste sensation overload. I might actually use something like those 3 words on my thumbnail itself. and call it New York City's sweet street food adventure will blow your mind. You see how it's now using wording that you really want for a YouTube title? Unleash ultimate, this is a clickbait word, will blow your mind is this one, Sugar Rush Alert. I like to use these titles because what I tend to find is in my thumbnails, and you're thinking probably about your thumbnails too, that you want to have a little bit of text in there, not too much, not give it away. The worst thing you can do, and if you've done any of our other courses, just put your title back in your thumbnail. It's more real estate to give a message across, short, sweet, punchy, just like advertising. This is the poster for your video. So something like Sugar Rush Alert, Taste Sensation Overload, Foodie's Dream Come True. So indulge your sweet tooth. These are the words I would pretty much use on my thumbnail, and that's why generating this is good. Then you know what to put on your thumbnail and you can start imagining it. And you're going to talk later with Phil is doing a lecture using AI to generate imagery, etc. So I might have something like this, indulge your sweet tooth. These are good. Sweet heaven awaits. Unforgettable, sugar-coated delights, the ultimate sugar fix. So I might have this one, right? I quite like this. So again, you can reword this and rework it as many times as you want. I, myself, and my experience, I would have this bit as text on my thumbnail. Take that away. Just remember it to use it for later. New York's sweet street food journey generates sweet satisfaction. So I would, again, reword and reword and reword and rework it. I know that in my videos, I like to do things like have it in 5 parts. So I'd go New York City's sweet street food journey, 5 delicious foods you've never seen before. You see stuff like will blow your mind. I really like that. So you can start taking bits from other titles, start putting them in, and I would use this to make your own title from ChatGPT. Really think about this. It might punch out the most perfect title ever, and it does quite often. You're probably going to take bits from many different suggestions. Of course, the amount of times it can rework and reword these are infinite. I could tell it to generate 100 of these titles. You can go through it. So I would say like reword this title, again, tell it to be clickbaity or whatever. Street food satisfaction. Maybe I'll take this out, have will blow your mind. Street food journey. Something like 5 foods that will blow your mind. And I'd rework it, taking parts from this title until you've got the perfect title. Then when you have the perfect title in your topic, and maybe you've done this and seen there's several that you want to do, and you have 3, 5, 10 titles ready for your next 10 videos you're going to make, you're going to have this cataloged in for your YouTube channel. You can then start generating thumbnails, then make your video. Title, thumbnail first, then make your video. That's why ChatGPT is so good. It's almost like the research section. Mistakes are made creating YouTube channels when they make their video first, then think about title and thumbnail in it. No. Make it as the person sees it. A person sees your thumbnail and title first, then they watch your video. And that's the order of importance, because no one sees it if they don't click it, as we've said many times before. So that's almost like the back end bit, the bit before you create your video that we've done using ChatGPT. Once again, Phil is going to be talking on stuff like Midjourney and other places to generate imagery for thumbnail and such. So you do this, go through it over and over again, get your perfect title, because the next lecture we're going to go through a script, working out a script for your videos, so you can then have, I've got my title in the topic that I know I want to make it in. I'm going to then script it pretty much, plan out my video, and then you have to go and create it, which is going to save you hours and hours and hours, and make sure you have the most perfect video, you haven't missed anything, it's structured well, it's laid out perfect, so you can make the best video. So I'll see you over on the very next lecture. So outline and script your videos with ChatGPT for YouTube. So we are straight back in here to ChatGPT. If you've been following along from the previous lectures, we now have our topic decided based on titles pretty much. Then we have made those titles more clickable, more clickbait without, I'm just going to address that quickly. Clickbait is an okay term to use and to have for your videos. Clickbait, if you've got a video about these sunglasses and you title it Singing Cat does a full Beethoven rendition, then that of course is clickbait. If you say the most extreme, amazing, incredible foods in New York City, and you think, oh, that's a bit over the top. That's not clickbait. That's marketing. That's getting someone to click your video. And as long as you do have foods in there that you think are great, that's not clickbait. So we've generated those. We have our titles. We know what we're going to make our video about pretty much based on a title. What we don't have is what the video looks like, some sort of script or points for how the video is going to be laid out. Now, a lot of people don't plan their videos. They just hit the road and they go and film. Now, this depends so much on your niche. If you're doing a tech review, then obviously you can plan to talk about, I don't know, 5 points within the iPhone if you're doing the iPhone. Or if you're doing anything else, I don't know, gaming, if you're doing a review on fashion. And I'm reviewing this belt and I'm going to talk about it. And my 5 points are, I don't know, the quality, the price. I'm just grabbing these things out of the air, but you know exactly what I mean. You need some kind of structure. You can't just start rolling and hope for the best. And a structure is really, really important because it's going to help retention. So we've done your click. We've got people to click your video with a title and later thumbnail. And now they're watching. You want them to watch for as long as possible. We spoke about it in my first lecture, in the previous section. You want the retention to be as long as possible. Now the retention is how good your video is, not how well it's edited, the transitions and all that stuff, which people spend loads of time focusing on. The retention is going to be purely pretty much from your structure, how you are keeping someone engaged. Now, a tactic that I like to use is to have like a 5-point structure to my video. And if you open up and you tell someone, I'm going to go through 5 street foods, we're going to do this one, then just briefly touch on them, and you're going to see which ones are best, the price of these. The viewer already knows they're in here, they're on the ride for 5 points, and they're likely to stay for it. And you might count these down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Some of the best examples of a great structure video, if you ever watch like 10 best, I don't know, 10 best touchdowns, 10 best goals, 10 craziest places you've never seen, 10 haunted houses, the countdown channels, perfect structure. It counts down from 10 to 1, getting more extreme. People wait and watch to see what the last one is. You're taking that same theory and putting it to your video to get somebody to watch for as long as possible. So it's important to script or get the structure for your video to get someone to watch for as long as possible. You need retention. And if you're trying to get monetized still, you need watch hours. So you want people to watch for as long as possible to contribute towards your watch hours. And if they watch for longer, they see more adverts, you make more money, YouTube makes more money, they see more adverts, and shares you more because YouTube want to make money, of course. Okay, so I've explained to you why it's important to get it. So now we need to generate a script. So I'm going to do 2 things here. There's one called generating the script and one called generating the structure, and you're going to see the difference between the two. I'm going to use an absolute random example here, and these are also on your downloadable PDFs if you want to follow along. Let's do this example. So let's start from the top. I'm going to use an example of a travel video. I'm going to do 5 things, or you could do 10 things to do in New York City that nobody has seen before. It's going to be a travel video. The title might be something like we've generated in the last one. 5 things you've never seen in New York City that you must do under $10. For example, I put that in. So I want to find what these 5 things are, and I'm using ChatGPT to start generating my script. These might change when you're out in the field filming. You might actually find something else, but you need to at least leave your house with a plan to do this. So if I know I'm going to do 5 incredible things to see in New York City, I'm going to do list me 10 things to do in New York City that tourists don't normally see. Okay, let's generate that, and it's going to spit me out 10 things to do. Now, what I'm going to do is use these 10 things. I will select 5 of them. There might be none here. I need to generate another 10. I could generate 50. I could generate 100, right? But if there's, I don't know, there's the Greenwood Cemetery. Doesn't sound like I would. The High Line, for example. I've been on the High Line and not enough tourists do it. That's amazing. Maybe that's one of them. I want to go to the Tenement Museum, City Hall Station, I don't know, Governor's Island, whatever it is. This is how you get your 5 things. Now, if you are doing a review on something like, tell me 5 points to talk about the new iPhone, and perhaps it's going to spit you out like cost, size, the specifications of the camera, anything new in the software. For example, I'm getting my 5 things, okay? And that's important. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, write me a script. And I'll show you the difference, as I previously mentioned, between script and structure. And we're going to generate these almost identical, but ask for a structure next. So write me a script for an 8-minute YouTube YouTube video for the title. And the title example I just pulled out there that we didn't generate was like 5 amazing sweet street foods in New York City that you have never seen before for under $2, let's say. So now I have, well, this example up here was the different locations, wasn't it? So this one, I'm going to say the 5 foods we will try are, now these are not exciting, but I'm going to just make something up. Unicorn coffee, made that up. 2 chocolate bagels. I've no idea if they really exist. Again, if this was my video, I would have asked in this section here for it to generate me 10 foods and I would have found them. Or this is a bit of a weird example because you need to, if they exist a lot in New York City, you can go and find them, or you might have to go and see what's available. So for this example, well, you're not going to be doing this for your channel. You'd take it from here and you would put these in. So let me just continue. Okay, so now I've got it here. Write me a script for an 8-minute YouTube video. Now, we've spoken briefly in the first section. 8 minutes is an ideal length. You might want to ask it for 10 minutes, but 8 minutes is an ideal length because after 8 minutes, YouTube will add mid-roll ads into your video. The more adverts that someone is able to watch, the more money it can make, the more money YouTube make, and they're likely to share it. So make your video over 8 minutes for you to make more money, but for YouTube to be able to make more money, and then they're probably going to give you more impressions if they're making more money. So get your videos at least over 8 minutes. So write a script for an 8-minute YouTube video for the title 5 amazing street foods in New York City that you've never seen before for under $2. The 5 foods we will try are 1, unicorn coffee, 2, chocolate bagels, 3, mango crepes, 4, chocolate fountain, 5, s'mores. Now, these would have been obviously from your searching on that previous query that we generated. So let's see this and see what the script, and I'm going to show you how this will work for some niches depending on what you're doing as opposed to others. In the next lecture, we start getting some sources for this. But right now, you can see it does something like host. Hey there, foodies! Welcome back to our channel. Today we have a special treat for you. We're diving into the delicious world of sweet street foods right here in the heart of New York City. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and uncover each cost under $2. Let's get started. Number 1, our first stop takes to the vibrant food truck. Unique creations. Behold the magic unicorn coffee. So you can see what it's doing here. It's generating an actual script, including cut to the host holding the coffee, doing this. It's making me a script. Isn't this amazing? Step by step for exactly what to do. Now, this once again is a plan for a niche like this. If you're doing a tech review and it's spitting out exactly what to talk about, you could probably follow this script exactly. For the example, and the reason I gave this one to you is it's slightly more difficult. It's a vlog out on the street. So you may not find a street food truck, but you can use this as a step. I know in my first section right here, I'm going to talk about this, and I might not find unicorn coffee. I might find another, whatever. I know that I have to talk for this long about this to make it into my 8-minute timeline. There's not much to do. I could easily talk and reword this as I'm on the street, as long as I'm covering this topic. So you can see it's pretty much done a movement-based script. Do this, cut to this, travel here, say this, which is amazing. But what I want to do is also get like a structure plan. And to do that is really simple. I'm going to grab the previous, write me a script, and let's do write me a video structure for an 8-minute YouTube video. And you're going to see the difference between a script and a video structure. Let's run that right now and see what it comes back with. So, video structure for amazing street foods. Okay, introduction, second, engaging intro, host introduces the video topic, briefly mentions the 5 foods they will try. Segment 1, host walk to the location you want coffee, engages, shots vibrant food truck, holds it, does this. So I like something like this when I'm filming. This will depend loads on you. It depends on your niche, on your video type. I'm doing this for everyone. But a lot of people don't. They often run scripts and they don't understand about running a structure. Now, I like this. You could quickly get this on your phone and you can run through it. And all I know is that each section here, look, I'm 30 seconds for my intro. Ideal intro length. I'm telling them we're going to look at 5 bits, mention the 5 foods you'll try. My first section is 1.5 minutes. This one is 1.5 minutes. This one, 1.5 minutes. This one, 1.5, 1.5. Now, from experience, I would actually make this like 1 minute, 1 minute, then make this one, say 1.5, this one 2 and 2. That's a retention thing. I want to start getting through my sections, keep someone engaged, moving from one bit to the next. So make them shorter at the start and longer at the end. That's just a bit of information for you guys from someone who makes too many YouTube videos for too many channels. That's something. And I love a structure like this. Bullet points. I just know I have to go to this place. I have to show me moving there outside the chocolate place, outside the bagel place. That's very easy. I'm walking there. I'm showing it. Eye catching shots of the bakery process. That's just me filming them, doing that. And I can either do this as a voiceover whilst that's happening, or talking, or both. Describe the chocolate bagel, its flavor profile, how much it is. Take a bite of it and share their experience. This tastes delicious, whatever. You could easily get 1.5 minutes of that. I love, love, love a video structure as opposed to a script. However, if you are doing something like a video essay, tech review, I'm talking about, I don't know, let's take an example. The demise of the mafia in New York City after the 1970s. Just pulled that out, whatever it is. I could actually ask it to run me a script, run me an 8-minute video about a demise, blah, 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 for YouTube. And I'll be able to actually speak this script into a microphone and then lay over voiceover, which you'll need source material video for. I talk about that in the next lecture. So there's a difference between running a script and running a structure, and it will depend largely on the videos that you want to make in your niche. But it's a key important bit of information using ChatGPT that a lot of people don't do, the difference between video structure and video scripts. And I hope that explains how best to use these. Now, you'll need to use some of your own knowledge. You can ask and generate, and I would. You need to obsess over this introduction bit. You need to get people hooked. So you probably watch lots of other videos in your niche, or you have videos already where your intro did really well. You can see in your retention graph what's working, what kept people longer at the beginning in the opening 30 seconds. If you've got 70% of people still watching at 30 seconds, or 30% of people, the one with 70% was a better introduction. Could be topic 2, but probably introduction. And you can do things like, today's video we're going to look at 5 different sweet street foods that are incredible, amazing, in New York City you have never seen before. Come with me as I discover these 5 things. I could put shots of them on screen, teasing them. I can't believe these exist, and for only $2. Have you tried these before? Let's get into the video. Let's go. Number 1. And you can go straight into it, and you need an intro, something like this. Obsess over the intro. You can get ChatGPT to spit you out lots of different intros, 30-second intros for this video. You can run that, rerun that. But a lot of it is going to be down to your own research too, and your own style for your video that you've already done. But definitely utilize that and obsess over your introduction. This was amazing. This is a game changer. This would take hours to plan. You could quite easily get these structures for your next 10 videos, and you've now got a plan, and then just tweak them yourself based on what's available and depending on your channel niche. It's so good to have this available. Okay, that was that. Let's get into, so I mentioned on the next one, we're going to talk about finding sources. So you might want to find sources for your videos. That's if you're doing, I don't know, video essay, review, whatever, you might need sources for B-roll, for stock footage, and you want to find a place to get these, because under the fair use policy in YouTube, you are allowed to use other videos that are on YouTube as long as you're adding to it. I'll explain all that in the next section, but there's an easy way to find video to use in your video, so you can start automating and making this as quick and as frictionless a process as possible from start to finish, with ChatGPT as our YouTube angel guiding us on the way. So let's get into it right now. Let's get on to the next lecture, finding source videos. So finding sources with ChatGPT for YouTube. So this will depend a lot on the niche of your channel, exactly what it is you are making about, whether or not you will need sources. You know, you may still need sources for all kind of things. You're doing a tech review, but a lot of the videos that need sources, source material, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute, are stuff like video essays or discussions or topics. If you're talking about, I don't know, video essays on business, on Bitcoin, on finance, on psychological stuff, or on murder mysteries, on celeb details, for example, all those videos will probably need source material. That is, either find sources online, like quotes from people, things people have said, or actual videos about it that you can use in your own video on YouTube. So what I have to point out here and have to remind you is, do remember about the YouTube fair use policy. Now, I've just grabbed a video up here. This is actually from, if I move me, from the YouTube creators, an official account for YouTube here, all about talking about the YouTube fair use policy, which is great. You can go ahead and watch this video if you just search YouTube fair use policy, or there are various pages that they have about this, about the fair use policy on YouTube. But I'm going to briefly tell you what that means. And the difference between fair use and copyright and legality, okay? On YouTube, fair use means, what do YouTube let you do? You are allowed to use any piece of video online. For example, someone else's YouTube video. You're allowed to download that, use bits of it in your own video. Think about review channels or top 10. They're all using sources offline, or indeed TV shows and movies using clips, like people that review movies or whatever. They're using clips of Netflix shows or existing movies, or a lot of the video essays, for example, finance ones on channels like Magnets Media or James Janney, Jake Tran. Some of these big video essay channels are using stock footage taken from existing movies like Wolf of Wall Street, for example. And you're allowed to, the basic rule is, if you are using clips, small clips, not entire segments, and you're adding to it, i.e. your own music, your own commentary, then you're allowed to use the clips. That's okay. You can use other people's footage in yours if you are adding to it, adding commentary to it, talking about something else and using it as a visual. That's okay. That is the YouTube fair use policy. Now, this is not copyright law. So copyright means in the US, it varies from country to country, but let's talk about the US mostly. And it's the same for a lot of European countries. You can't even use a second of someone else's footage without it being up for copyright debate. That's important. Even if it was, for example, a image is in a public domain, someone's created a video and then they've changed it slightly. Also under American law, that means that that is now their image, their copyright if you use a piece of that, which is fascinating. It's a big loophole between YouTube and copyright law. There's fair use, what you can do on YouTube, and then there's copyright law. So if you do use someone else's footage, actually they could say to YouTube, this person uses my footage, it's copyright, and YouTube may give that video a strike. If you get 3 strikes, your channel can be taken down. But you can also debate back and say, actually, this is fair use. So if that happens, someone says, you can't use my footage, you say it's fair use, then they say, okay, the person who said this is copyright has 10 days to take legal proceedings against this, i.e. do a court case against you. If they don't, then the video can go back up and you continue as you are. It's a really interesting, fascinating part of YouTube and the copyright law. If you do go over to Magnets Media's channel, you will see, I'll search him right here, he's talking about it just recently, Magnets Media. This channel right here. So he did this video right here about his channel almost got taken down. Let me move me. How Magnets Media almost got deleted. About how he almost got taken down because somebody said he'd used only 6 seconds of their footage, although they were actually footage that was in the public domain, but that editor had changed it slightly. So then that person had 10 days to do a lawsuit against him, to file a lawsuit. He didn't, and his channel is back up. Just briefly mention that to you. Now, it's very unlikely if you're using small amount of fair use, no one is going to say, hey, and file $1 million, $100,000 lawsuit against you for you not making much money on YouTube anyway, or it taking away in credibility. And maybe even if it went to court, someone would say this does not take away from their channel. Anyway, so just to make you fully aware. But as far as the fair use policy on YouTube goes, yes, you can use it. So there are two things here you might want. Let's do the first one, finding sources. For example, if, and I have this on the PDF that you can go and check out and download, I have an example. If you are making a video essay about the movie Fight Club, and it's all about the psychology of why men love Fight Club, and there's quite a lot of videos about this, so I would say something like, find me 5 psychological quotes. Maybe I should actually say, yeah, I'll double this up. So we're going to go from psychologists about the reasons why men love Fight Club. Detail their names. We give it more detail. Love the movie Fight Club. Detail the psychologists. You're always thinking about, is there any way it could be misconstrued? Find me 5 psychological quotes from psychologists about the reasons why men love the movie Fight Club. Detail the psychologist names. Okay, let's generate that and let's see what it says. This is, once again, if I was making a video about this, I might want to, within my script, so I'm finding sources from my script. We generated those in the last video, and if I want specific sources for stuff like this, I would go in and I would find these, and I would... Oh, it's generating now. So number 1, Fight Club taps into the primal instincts needed for rebellion in men. It allows them to explore and express their frustrations, finding solace in the character who breaks free from social norms. That's Dr. Carl Jung, Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst. Men are drawn to the movie Fight Club because it confronts... So you can see right now it is spelling these out. So if I needed that, or I needed quotes from tech experts about the reasons why the new iPhone is good or bad, or why... experts about why Huawei is a really bad company from China, or that's going to take all your details, why TikTok's going to steal all your data and give it to China. For example, any topic you can imagine, you want to find quotes, not just from psychologists, but from news reporters, from people talking in the space or whatever. This is how you can get those sources. So that's the first example of finding sources, which you can use these, obviously. You can mention these quotes from psychologists, no problem, and you might even be able to find videos of them saying it or speak about it over the top of a video of them. Which brings me on to the next point. Another source you may want to find, as I've just mentioned with the fair use policy, is finding video sources. So for this, I would ask it to find me YouTube videos. So I can say something like, find me 10 videos on YouTube about why men love Fight Club, and again, why men love the movie. Find me 10 videos on YouTube that talk about why men love Fight Club. Detail their channel name and video title so you can go and find them. Let's do that. And what this allows me to do then, if I'm talking about, for example, this one I'm giving you here, I'm talking about the movie Fight Club, they might have source video or anything else that they've already gathered and generated, either from Fight Club or from other sources. I can go in, one, watch their videos so I can see what they're talking about and take ideas, or I can use actual clips from their video that they have generated. And right now it's listed, for example, the take video title. So I can go into YouTube, I could search this and search their channel name. I can just search this and filter it by channel, or search for this, the title. Inside there, make sure it's from Cinefix. Now, you have to bear in mind that ChatGPT is taking information up to 2021. There has been some releases that these are updated, but because of that, some of these video titles may have been changed. The creators change video titles, as I've told you to do many times. You should change your title should you want to revive it, or it didn't get the right click-through rate, change the title. Or the channel name might have, or the video might be taken down. So you might want to generate 10, you might want to generate 50, and you can go through these, and it's a quick way to find videos that, and this is important, why bother doing this, Dan? Because I could just go into YouTube and type in why men love Fight Club, and it's going to list me videos. Of course it is. Yeah, it will do that. But it will not show you all of them. 30,000 hours of video content are uploaded to YouTube every hour. You do not get all the videos shown to you, especially from smaller channels. What I found ChatGPT does is it scours YouTube, it scours the internet, and is able to find videos that I otherwise, when I've just searched on YouTube, it doesn't find them. Why? Because they're smaller, because they didn't get the exposure, because they're older, maybe. YouTube normally punches when I put in that search term for Why Men Love Fight Club, the big videos that have millions of views or the big channels. This is a way to get a real broad spectrum to find sources. Now you can also go find me videos on other sites, external sites, news sites about XYZ, and it will give you the URL for those videos. And that's another way to do that. So that was finding sources for your YouTube video. And now we've come kind of full circle. If you've been going along, we've got our topics down, we've got our titles, and we've now scripted and everything, and we're finding sources to put our video together should you need that. Now you'll go off and create, obviously, and we're going to go into, on the next lecture, writing a video description. That's when you're uploading to YouTube, and it's important. Stuff like titles are important, but also the description to make sure it's optimized for YouTube, as well as then tags and other things that we go to make sure your video gets discovered. And ChatGPT can do an amazing job of doing this for us, so it's already optimized our video for discovery. Okay, I'll see you in the very next lecture. Hey guys, and welcome back. So this is how to write a video description, an optimized video description for YouTube using ChatGPT. And firstly, I guess, why do we need a video description? So when you upload a video, one of the parts in there, as soon as you click upload video, on the next step, you'll be taken to the page where you write your title first and then video description. And if you're watching a video, you'll see it right below the video, and you click more to see the video description. And it's for all kind of things, like to put in links to other videos, or to put in affiliate links if you're selling other products, or to send you to your site, for example, but also to describe what is involved and what is included even inside the video. And why does this help, and why is it important? So YouTube uses many parts of your video to understand what it's about, to help with the algorithm. You can't just assume you're going to write a video about, I don't know, the emergence of the iPhone in modern day society, why that's important, etc., how it's changed the world, and assume it's going to get to everyone who wants to see that content. There is 30,000 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every hour. As I've said, YouTube doesn't just trust your title, maybe text in your thumbnail, to understand what it is and whom to give it to. There are many variables, like the history of your channel, if you've uploaded stuff before that's done well, as to who it's going to share it with and give impressions to. YouTube only has a certain amount of space on its page to give impressions, and each one is worth money to YouTube because, of course, they show ads, so they want as many people to click as many videos and not come off the page and have a bad experience. So it's working out what your video is about and then sharing it with the right people. And a video description is one way it does that. It will also run automated captions, and it will understand what you're saying in your video, but the video description is key. Now, what's needed for a great video description are certain keywords that are needed to optimize about what your video is about. For example, if we talked about, like in the last example from the last lecture was about the psychology of Fight Club, why men love it, the movie Fight Club. So you'll put things like movie, Fight Club, men, these keywords that people might be searching to find the video, or just Fight Club the movie, Brad Pitt, whatever it is inside there. And it's quite important to have them more early on inside your video description than later, as YouTube is analyzing the importance of your description. It's also quite important to make the description more conversational rather than just a list of key terms, for example. And ChatGPT is an amazing way to do this, to have it optimized for YouTube. So what I'm going to do, and again, this is on your downloadable PDFs, you can see examples of inputs and outputs that I put. I'm going to say write a 2-paragraph. I've done this before without specifying a video length, and it gave me a huge essay, which you don't want for your video description. For in most cases, unless you're other competitor channels, similar channels, and we talk about how to find those later, do so, and it works in your niche. But write a 2-paragraph video description for a YouTube video titled, let's just make one up. Description titled Why Men Love the Movie Fight Club. Let's just say that is it, okay? And we can say use keywords from this title and topic early in the description. What's wrong with my typing today, guys? Sorry. Early in the description, and make the tone conversational. So the reason I have said to make conversational is that you can say it's a language-based AI model, so you can say make this more formal. If I was doing a news channel, I might want it to be really formal. If you're doing a very laid-back vlog, you might want it more conversational. Let's run with that and then let's see what this puts out. Hey there, movie buffs. I wouldn't say that. In the thought-provoking video, we dive into the intriguing question of why men absolutely adore the iconic film Fight Club. So already within there, we've got movie, men, Fight Club in the first sentence. That's great. Join us as we explore the underlying reasons behind this magnetic appeal of the cinematic masterpiece from its... Yeah, it's great. I might automatically, like myself, change the opening there. I'm going to ask it to regenerate that again. Hey there, movie enthusiasts. Got the word movie in there again. Thought-provoking video, we're diving into the fascinating world of Fight Club, exploring the captivating reasons why men in particular have an undeniable love for this iconic film. That's really nice. I would change hey there, movie enthusiasts. In this thought-provoking video, we're diving into the fascinating world of the movie Fight Club, I would say. Then you've got the word movie and Fight Club right there. I'm going to show you an example now. We've spoke about it. Let's do this and say make the tone very formal and academic. These are some of the terms you might want to start using: formal, academic, depending on what it is that you want. And let's see what this generates here. Welcome to our YouTube channel. We delve into the realm of film analysts. In this captivating video, we embark on a scholarly exploration. Okay, so you can see the wording it's using of the enigmatic phenomenon surrounding the male adoration of the renowned cinematic masterpiece Fight Club. Wow. Okay, we've just gone very academic and scholarly. It's also said it's a scholarly exploration where I wanted the description, to appear more scholarly. It may have taken that incorrectly, but I can also regenerate this once again, and you can start doing things like rewording, just use formal, scholarly exploration, profound phenomenon surrounding men's adoration, cinematic masterpiece known as Fight Club. In this meticulously crafted video essay, we delve into the intricate layers of David Fincher's film. Wow, so you can see the difference here if you're using different language to ask the AI model of how to write the video description. You've already asked it to make this optimized and to have some of your keywords for SEO early. So I'd make sure movie, I'd make sure Fight Club, and then if you're talking about David Fincher's film here, whatever, I would have those as early on in the description as we can, and don't just list a whole bunch of keywords. But this is how you generate a video description, which would take you ages to write this, obviously automatically in seconds. Grab this, copy, paste, put it in your YouTube video. You've done the same with your titles, copy, paste, put it in. Now you have it much quicker, faster, and you're going to have the same kind of responses in all of your videos without thinking, the same kind of model answers here that would take you ages. You've saved time and you've made them optimized because ChatGPT understands what you mean when you said optimize this for YouTube. So that was video description. Another way that YouTube decides whom to share your videos with and give impressions to and understand more fully what your videos are about are through tags, which are basically the metadata. You are telling YouTube what your video is about, and you need to get the right kind of tags, the right length and the right amount of them to make sure your video is optimized for discovery in search on YouTube. So in the next lecture, we're going to talk about exactly that, how to get the best tags for your video automatically using ChatGPT. Generating tags for your YouTube videos using ChatGPT. So firstly, I guess I'm going to explain to you what tags are. If you don't know, if you do, bear with me for a minute. Tags are when you're uploading a video, you will upload you're entering your title, your description, as we said, scroll down, put it in a playlist, click more, and then there'll be all these options down there to like hold comments and things like that, and also to put in tags. Now, what are tags? Tags are the metadata behind your video. Think of them for SEO. Tags describing your video so that YouTube knows more about what your video is about and thus whom to share your video with based on search results. If people are searching, what might they be searching for? Which words or key phrases might they be searching for that your video relates to, and you are directly telling YouTube what they are for your video. So I think, and there's a note on it saying tags are less important than they were several years ago. YouTube getting more and more intelligent every year. It's running captions, obviously. It knows what you're saying in your video, your title, description, everything else. Tags, I think, come quite low down in the running order for what YouTube is using to discover what your video is about and who to share it with. But they are still an important thing you shouldn't skip. And also from research behind this, we're going to do things like single key terms, single words that you want to rank for, and also longer phrases that people might be searching for, which will depend on your video niche and what it's about and topic, etc. And I'll give you some examples. Also, there are 500 characters allowed for YouTube tags. Use them all or as many as possible. And character is a single letter, be it one word or a string of words. The total character count, 500. So I'm going to say, generate me tags for a YouTube video titled, let's do something like, how much does a 2-week holiday in Vietnam cost? And then we're going to tell it to generate both one-word tags and tag strings, we'll call them, and I don't know whether ChatGPT is going to use that. I haven't run the word strings, but that's what they're called. Generate both one-word tags and tag strings of multiple words for best SEO results. 500 characters maximum for entire tag character count. Okay, let's run this and see what the response is. Okay, tags. Okay, nice, perfect. So what it's done here is it's done me a whole load of individual tags. I can already tell from my years of experience on YouTube and working with companies, these are exactly the kind of single word tags you want, and put these tags early on in your tags that you can add there. So for this video, Vietnam travel, holiday, cost, budget, vacation, expenses, tourism, Asia, exploration. Great. Not sure I put exploration, maybe. I'd also, right before this, so you're going to copy these over and put them in your tags. Right before this, I would then also put in my actual title. Just copy your entire title and put that in as your first tag, and then put these single word tags in there. Sometimes you'll see, and I've done it, where you've ranked really highly on something like Vietnam, which is amazing. Sometimes there'll be lots of content and you'll get swallowed up, but sometimes you can rank quite highly for these single words, and you'll be surprised even when you're early on in your career, your YouTube uploading career. And then there's Vietnam travel cost. Somebody will very rarely just search the word Vietnam on YouTube. They'll search something like, how much does it cost to travel Vietnam? 2-week holiday budget, I'd put Vietnam. Vietnam vacation expenses, affordable Vietnam travel budget. Traveling to Vietnam on a budget, cost of a 2-week trip to Vietnam. Vietnam travel tips, planning a budget-friendly trip. Okay, these are great. Let's regenerate these because you might as well. Let's see what it says. Nice. Oh, it's giving me loads. Some of these are 2-word ones. Some of these are tag strings. These are great. And this is how you can generate the most amazing tags that you need. Just copy and paste these directly into your YouTube video. Isn't this great that I haven't even got to think about it? I can just do this automatically. And some stuff you wouldn't even think about. Some of these here. And if you want to, if you're doing, and it depends on your video, if you're doing a like how to travel vlog and you're explaining stuff, then sure, add in the word how. So how much does it cost for Vietnam? And you're getting all these ideas right here. This is incredible. So it depends on what your niche is. Let's run it for another niche just quickly. Generate me tags. Let's do this for, we had early on in the course, if I keep scrolling up, okay, foodies paradise, Foodie Heaven. Yeah, let's do the one we had for sensational street food for women. That's very specific. Let's see what it comes up. Let's test ChatGPT to the max. Okay, let's run that and see what it says. Street food, New York City, flavorful bites, women, foodie, sensational, explore, taste, culinary. So you know which ones to take away from there. Sensational street food, exploring NYC's flavorful bites, women, food, adventures, food experiences. So do this for your own video. Obviously, when you're uploading this, you already have your title, you have your description. You can either take a chunk from your description. You can actually you can run that. You could run write me tags based on this description, not the more formal one. I would do it for the more conversational one. It might bring out some random tags based on strings that it finds in there, but the title should be sufficient enough to bring you out the most amazing tags that you need for your videos. So that's it. That's pretty much all the uploading section that you're going to need to use ChatGPT for to optimize your channel. What's left is, after your video is done uploading and processing, is it's going to automatically generate captions. These are important because when you have your phone and you're looking at videos, when you first go on the YouTube home screen, you'll leave it without turning your volume on, and it will auto-generate the captions and put them up for you if they're available on the videos. You can start watching it whilst in silent mode and then decide whether or not to watch it. More and more people are opening up YouTube in silence and scrolling to decide it. They're like, I like that thumbnail, I like that title, and they just read the first few lines that are coming up. Now, you need to make sure that your captions are correct. If there's a mistake in there, it didn't find the correct word and stuff, you need to get those perfect, and you can use ChatGPT to do that. Explain loads more in the next lecture. Let's go over there and talk about generating captions or correcting incorrect captions so that people can watch it and YouTube knows what you're about. I'll see you over there. So fixing automated captions with ChatGPT for YouTube. So this is really important and becoming ever so more important as the years go on. It didn't used to be that much of an issue, didn't even used to think about captions, and now it's really important. So just quickly, what are captions? If I go over to a video like this one on a channel I'm working with, I go on the left and click subtitles, you can see it's here in multiple languages. What you might see is after your video has done processing, it will automatically generate this. It detected I was speaking English and it did it. I will click duplicate and edit. It will have English, and then I can make sure they're correct in there, and I can then translate it to Thai, German, Dutch, French, Danish, Norwegian, Spanish, as many as I want, which obviously means people from all over the world can watch your videos with subtitles on, no matter what language that they speak. Also, when you are scrolling through YouTube, as I mentioned at the end of the last lecture, when you're scrolling through and deciding on a video to watch, a lot of people hover over a video and captions will appear at the bottom. If they're not correct, people will be put off by the video and won't watch. It's another tool to get someone to click, to help the click-through rate, and it gives YouTube information about what the video is about, as long as they're correct, to know whom to share it with and give an impression to. So what you do is you click edit and you're going to see them all here. If I go edit as text, I can click here and I can copy and paste all of these over right here and go back into ChatGPT, and I'm going to do something like proofread and let's do it 2 words, to proof read and correct spelling for this, quite simply, and then let's paste it in. It's all here. Let's generate that. Now what you don't want it to do, which sometimes I found, that's why I said read this and check the spelling, is I do not want it to change it and proofread it to rework the text. I still need the same thing as I say on screen, but I need it proofread. So if I go and look at exactly what I said on here, let's see, for example, I said, this is Thailand, home to this year the most voted beautiful beach in the world. This is stunning food, so I can check. This is Thailand, home this year voted the most beautiful beach in the world. So what it's done is it's added in capital T, commas, comma here, and to make sure that it's readable and correct English, and all words are also, if it's detected, what it might not do, but it might do, if there's a word, for example, if I said stunning and it sounded like I said, I don't know, stunned instead, and YouTube generated that. Because it's an AI-based platform for language, it is able to work out that that should be stunning and not stunned, and change that. You then copy and paste this. If I take this for example, copy and paste it, go back over onto YouTube, and I could just copy and paste it into here, and it will automatically generate this based on what I'm saying and the timestamps. And that's it. That is the easiest way to correct captions that are auto-generated in YouTube. Then you go back through, and in the same part on YouTube, I'll show you once again. Here, if I go duplicate and edit, once I've done that, I can go add language. I could choose, I don't know, let's just choose something random. Let's choose Bulgarian. And I can go add right here. It will automatically generate from my new corrected, if I click here, auto translate, new corrected subtitles right here, and I can say publish, and now I've just translated it into Bulgarian. And YouTube may be more inclined to share it to that region, or if somebody from that region watches, they won't be put off. If enough people do that, then further impressions may go to that region. Now you might want to use subtitles just in English if you want to just target English audience, but also duplicating these into stuff like Hindi, Portuguese, other languages that are huge on the YouTube platform. It doesn't mean YouTube is then going to share it to loads of Indians, because we know that a video that has 1,000 views from India compared to 1,000 views from America is going to be worth a fraction of the advertising space, so your revenue created, than it is from America. It doesn't necessarily mean that, and I haven't seen any indication on any of my statistics that when I add subtitles to different languages, it gets shared to different geos, different geographies, and then that affects my ad revenue and how much money I make. Seen none of that. It just helps with the reach. I can see on most of my videos that maybe only a few percent is watching with subtitles in English, and 1%, 2% of other languages. But that can soon add up, and you might as well do it, seeing as it's already auto-generating subtitles, and it's very easy with ChatGPT to do this by just grabbing this, asking it to do a proofread, and copy and pasting over. You might as well get it perfect. You don't want any reason for someone to not watch in or not think your videos are perfect, including if you're working with sponsors in the future, or you want sponsors, they want your product to be perfect. They don't want to ever put their name to anything that's not great in every single way and flawless. So having great captions is a way to do that. It takes no effort with ChatGPT now. Rather than proofread a whole 10-minute video would take you hours to get that perfect, to make sure capital T's, commas, everything. Do it automatically using ChatGPT. So that's it for captions. Let's go over and talk about finding trends. This goes kind of back before us when we talk about topic, but I want to just talk about finding trends using ChatGPT general. I'll explain it all in the next lecture. Let's go over there. I'll see you in a moment. Finding trends with ChatGPT for YouTube. So I'm going to break this down into 3 sections in here. Finding trends, that is what to create about, whether that's to create about anything, a general search, to create for potential highest revenue earning topics to talk about, or niche specific, which is the main one that you'll probably be doing. So first, let's generate a response to ask for what the main trends are for YouTube. If I ask it for what are the top 10 trends for YouTube, just as simple as that, and I will niche down if it needs more information. Let's search that. Now, most of you watching this already have a YouTube channel, or you're going to be limited by what it is that you can create about. If you're in a certain country and you want to talk about a place, then you're going to talk about that. If you're an authority on something, like I'm an authority on, I don't know, I'm looking around here on tech, and I'm going to talk about tech, right? Or if I'm an authority, I'm a real estate agent, I'm going to talk about real estate. You don't need to do something like this to work out about trends, but they are interesting because sometimes there are trend hybrids with something that you're doing and another niche to tie that on. For example, if I just ran this, so just quickly also, you'll often get this, and it says about, it's running real-time data access, and it goes up to September 2021. So if there's a specific trend that's past then it may not pick it up. But it's got some general stuff like vlogs and lifestyle videos, gaming, DIY. Now this one is interesting, and this is what I mean about a hybrid channel. So I'm going to give you an example that a friend of mine here in the UK, they do a rug tufting channel. So that is where you put up a canvas and you make rugs, floor rugs, mats, using a gun like a thread gun that puts on different designs, but they also tie that in with ASMR. So they have like rug tufting, Homer Simpson's face, ASMR, because people are searching for ASMR and there's no talking in it, and you can hear the noises. ASMR, the videos where you hear like the clicking on stuff, and it is auto sensory meridian response, ASMR, where you kind of get tingles or a nice feeling. And they're really popular videos, and the hybrid there, he's done rug tufting, a craft channel, and ASMR, and joined together. This is where running a general query like this about just generally asking for trends on YouTube can work to make you think about, even if you didn't want to do a whole channel to be rug tufting and ASMR, it may be that you want to try it out. Food, cooking, fitness, animation, short films, unboxing products, educational. Unboxing is another one that you could probably link to lots of other channel niches. So this was the general query to find out about trends. If you are starting a YouTube channel, this might be your first point to give you ideas. I'd ask for 50 or 100 and then see where you line into your knowledge. The most important thing, number one, is your enjoyment. You're going to have to make a lot of videos for YouTube. Do not make something for any other reason than pure enjoyment, because it will be horrible. It'd be like going to work, which you're probably doing this because you don't want to go to work. You don't want to go to a standard normal job you don't enjoy. You're doing this for a passion, so make sure you love it first. And then perhaps your accessibility to it. You may love something but not be able to do it. You may love reviewing high-spec cameras but can't afford to do that. Okay, let's find another thing you will enjoy within that niche. And then you may think about money, which if you have two things you are an authority on and you love equally, and perhaps one makes more money than the other. So let's search that query. What are the top 10 YouTube niches that generate the highest CPM? Okay, let's run that query. So what we're basically asking it is, what are the highest earning? And again, I'm going to get a thing here that's going to, like a disclaimer. Now, remember that there's more than one thing that dictates how much a channel can make. And I'll speak about this recently. If you had a finance channel and all your viewers are from the Philippines or India, your earning potential is going to be much lower. If all your viewers in a finance channel from America, it's going to be much higher. But also perhaps you're getting swallowed up because there's more people doing finance content. If you are making something that has a specific geography, someone from a certain place and interest will dictate way more than the topic you're talking about. So quite often, yeah, finance and investing is the top one, because advertisers like to advertise on those. People looking to make money or about investing are already actively looking to spend money to make money. Advertisers will pay a top rate to get adverts in front of those people. Technology, for the same reason, those who are willing to spend are looking for a review so they can buy a product. They're already actively engaged in looking potentially for a product. Business entrepreneurship, for the same reason as finance. Then there's fitness. People are always looking to stay fit. And then travel and adventure, and it gets more generalized. Celebrity news and gaming will be way down the bottom if anyone's thinking of gaming. People are wanting to watch a game. They don't want to be interrupted by adverts. They don't react very well to adverts. So this is how you can start working out, well, maybe if my niche is not necessarily, I've got multiple that I'm interested in, which ones earn the most. Or if you are doing this purely as a business and you're outsourcing, people are editing and treating it just like a cash cow, then perhaps these are some of your top niches that you want to think about using for YouTube. So then the last point for working out trends, I can say, what are the top trends for YouTube videos in the crafts niche? So if you have a specific niche you're already in or want to be in, tech, food reviews, whatever it is, my example here is the craft niche. Let's ask YouTube what the top trends are. It might give us some ideas. And again, it's probably going to spit me a disclaimer. Yep, 2021. That's okay. And they're forever changing, but it is ideas. It's DIY home decor, paper crafts, polymer clay creations, resin art, embroidery, bullet journaling, crochet, upcycling. Yeah, I love upcycling videos. Calligraphy, scrapbooking. You can start to think, again, like I said, the hierarchy. What you love, you got to do a lot of it, what you have access to, and then what's trending. And that's kind of the hierarchy that I would always go on for working this out. So once you have one of these, for example, embroidery and cross stitch, you can do things like, what are the most popular video types on YouTube for the niche embroidery and cross stitch? Okay, let's run that query, and then let's see if it gives us any. We're niching down, and once again, I've spoke about this. Niche down, niche down, niche down as much as you can. Cross stitch is not a niche. It is a topic, but you need to be like, okay, am I going to do tutorial videos in cross stitch? Am I going to do pattern sharing, stitch along projects, tips and tricks, product reviews, stitching challenges, haul unboxing, inspiration? You need to go down as specific as possible. Now, why is that? Because when you release a video, people subscribe and watch that video. When you release your next video, YouTube at first puts the impression for that video in front of other subscribers or previous viewers. If they watched your first video, you want those people to watch your second video. They get the video first, they click, your click-through rate's high, YouTube shares it to more people. Now, if I did a tutorial video, and then the next one I did an unboxing, that's not quite the same. At least your first huge batch of videos all be around the same thing, all be unboxing, or all be tutorial videos, all be stitch along projects, so people know they're getting what they came for last time when they see your video. It only takes one time for someone to click your next video and it not be what they wanted from before, for them to never trust and click again. Now, this is for your first huge batch. When you have a following already established and people are following along for you, then you can start branching out into other things too, other stuff with inside your niche. So this is the best way to find trends and topic ideas. And then once again, we spoke about the very first lecture in this section, you take that and go into topics and get titles and start the process all over again. And we've got a full circle using ChatGPT right here for YouTube. Now, the last thing you'll want to do after this is see what other people are doing within your niche for things like, what do their thumbnails look like? What topics are they talking about? What's already working in title base for your competitors, and then relate that back to your channel. What's working on your channel with titles, etc. What are they doing? And mesh this together for the best all-round research. So you need to find, we call them competitors, but other people in your channel doing the same thing, and we can do that with ChatGPT in the next lecture. Finding competitors' channels with ChatGPT for YouTube. So what do I mean firstly by competitors' channels? There are other people making similar videos in your niche. I hate the word competitor because actually you need other channels in your niche for you to get suggested on their videos, for you to be able to get found mostly. So a competitor is actually an ally because you want to piggyback on the back of their videos. So you do want to know what your competitors are making about and what they're creating and how they're creating it, so that you can then be suggested also. So there's two schools of thought here. One, if I search for competitors' channels around a certain niche, I'm going to be suggested those, and quite often they're going to be really big channels, not always with results on ChatGPT. If I just went into YouTube and I searched, I'm going to then get ranked by the highest videos with millions of views, with channels that have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, which are great to see what people are looking for and love in the established section of your niche. But also, if you're a smaller channel, you do want to know what smaller, newer channels are doing. Now, why is this? Because those channels that are doing well and getting views but are still new have managed to find topics or video types or titles and thumbnails that are working in your niche in a new channel, which is what you need. If you just copy what the huge channels are doing, it may not work for you and you may get swallowed up because they already get the views and impressions because they're already big. You also want to find what smaller channels are doing in your space. So we can do that with ChatGPT right here. If I do a search, I can say, let's first just see what the results get. If I say, list me 10 top channels from YouTube in the, let's do that previous one we did in the cross-stitching niche. Cross-stitching niche. Okay, let's do this. Once again, remember, there's probably going to be a warning for 2021. There may be newer channels, there may be different channels. That's fine. But also, I found the results aren't always the case. That's like a disclaimer that ChatGPT must put on. And I have seen some new results. So while I don't have access to real-time data, That's the disclaimer again. Here's channels that have grown a significant following and are known for their cross-stitch content. Peacock and Fig Run, so I'll be searching them. Stitching Land, you can search them, and you can go on and search and see what these channels are doing in YouTube. Once again, these channels may no longer exist. They probably do if they're big. These are the best results you'll get for this. Or may have changed their name. Probably not going to happen if they're big too. But that's how you get the results for that. Now, once again, we want to try and find newer channels. Now, this does have a 2021 cap, but that's not always the case. And there are other ways you can do this. You could go onto YouTube and you can search for cross-stitching, for example, in the top bar, and you can click the filters and you can say that are new, that have less than X number of views, so that they're probably going to be newer channels, and you can filter it like that. Or you can find channels, if they've got cross-stitch in the name, that are X number of months or years old, and that's another way of doing it. But using ChatGPT, let me stop this generating, and I'll be like, list me 10 channels from YouTube in the cross-stitching niche that have less than 2,000 subscribers and less than 2 years old. Let's search that. Now, once again, it's probably going to give me real-time data. Yep, here we go. Okay, and then it's got this. So these are just channel names. Once again, you go into YouTube, on the top search bar here, you search for this name, for example, I don't know, Dreaded Tales. Search it in there. In the filters, select channel, and you can search for it by a channel name, not by, if you just put that into YouTube, it's going to spit out videos with that, not necessarily the channel. So do the filters at the top of YouTube to search for that. For example, if I go over to YouTube and I put in the Stitching Hive right here, I'll show you how to do that real quick. Push search, and then you click in the filters here and go by channel as opposed to by results. For normally it will link you with video results, and that's how you do that. That's what you're going to need. But to be honest, when I run this, this is the hardest one to find, and this is what you need to do. You need to also do things like less than X number of views or more than X number of views on their latest videos, and it's the hardest one to do. This has the most manual searching, but these are results you would spend ages trying to find yourself on YouTube. Put these in, I would get 50 results. Put these in one at a time, search for the channels, see if they're currently active, see if they've got recent videos with good number of views that aren't a huge mega channel with millions of subscribers, because that's what you need. And put all that information together and research what they're doing for both big channels, smaller channels that are doing well, to work out your next move on YouTube. So that was it for the ChatGPT section of this course. We're going to move in now, and Phil is going to take over and go through some of the other AI platforms you'll be wanting to use to make sure you get the most and the most optimized content and results when you're planning and creating for your own YouTube channel.